Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Kirby Triple Deluxe. Last time we went to the theater and the museum, partaking in the fine arts. This time, I am happy to be going off to Old Odyssey, don't get me wrong. I'm just not happy at what cost it came at, for you see, there's less of me. I'm down from 20 lives back to 7 because I had the gall to turn off a video game. And you know, this is in the era where they were saying, hey, make sure to take a break before you start to feel tired. Hypocrisy. Anyway, we're going into stage 1 here, where we're gonna hop on board a train, travel to a faraway land, and forget all of our troubles. Maybe this is actually the transitional process of getting to the Old Odyssey. You don't want to get hit by a train. It stings in the morning and is hard on your back. We're gonna keep going. And our first new enemy, Leafan. He gives us Leaf Kirby. Be the leaf on the wind with this sharp ability. Spin in a torrent of dancing leaves and slice and dice, or activate your garden. Hey, where'd you go? We have a standard leaf attack. We have Leaf Swirl, which just seems to be a common ninja technique. Leaf Scatter, which has its releasing bee during it. A Leaf Dance, which is our dash attack that we just saw. We have a special guard with this ability, an uppercut, some rain. Not that many moves. I would call this one of those light damage kind of high combo abilities. There's the uppercut where you just spawn something out of the ground. Race the train! Actually don't, it's a terrible idea. There's me releasing B to make that last longer. There that is, and then boom. Dissipated. Oh, you're breakable. After all, grass is super effective on rock. So as we're getting to see this ability, there's our down attack. I want to point out how the theming of these worlds has been amazing. We haven't had the standard grassland, desert land, and all that order that I like to complain about like in so many other platformers. Nah, none of that crap here. Our first one had the theme of clouds and floating islands with kind of a garden aesthetic as well. The second world was all candy and cake themed. You can sprout plants out of the sky, apparently. This one we kind of have, well, it's not explicitly clear. We have carrots in the background made out of stone. There's trains around, kind of some rocky mountains. I'm not going to tell you what the theme of this world is. I'd like you to take it in yourself and see if you're right, because it's one of my personal favorites. But you won't really get the full effect from here. And these world themes being so fantastical was no accidentical. In the developer Miiverse posts, they said that the themes of the worlds were done as such. They started out development by doing your standard grassland, desert land, all that stuff. And then they decided, how would we differentiate this if we made a sequel to this game? Where we can't really use the same themes again in a sequel, and people have played lots of Kirby games, so how about we go through and we remix all the locations as though this was the sequel? That's such a good way of doing it. It shows how much care and time went into making this, and I really wish more games did that instead of using the old tired themes. It's one of the reasons that I love Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze so much, and this came out a little bit before that, I think, so, yeah, I really like that. I mean, DKC Tropical Freeze, the first world is a plane crash, the second world is Switzerland. I love it. I've had to make a slight correction about the doors, how I was saying that orange doors are optional locations. That's not entirely true. It's that orange doors are round trip. Which does mean they usually include secrets, just not always. Going back in to see if I missed anything. You see, because I can go in this door and back out, the triple star doors are one way, which usually means that those are the required pathways because you can't go back. It's just how things are generally done. Go up here and, oh, maybe I didn't want to do that. I didn't pay attention to what was on the left both times. I just saw a shiny on the right and figured, okay, I'll go to the not shiny first to show what that is. I'm so sorry to those of you that were paying attention. Okay, hop on the 3D Warp Star. Let's be better. In fact, let's go back. Because I want to get this star, and that star, and this hunk of sky meat. I landed on a guy. I kind of often forget that some Kirby enemies can be beaten by jumping on them because it's not an ability that is often thought about. It's usually the least convenient way to take out an enemy. Anyway, this song is fantastic. It's the first level theme. I never stopped and let you hear it back then. Let's listen to it now. Hey, buzz off, buddy. Or should I say, chisel off. I don't know. I want to take stone right here. We got a really slopey kind of location, a really good place to have stone and just go really fast through it. Stone, I'm a big fan of stone. At first I wasn't, where I just kind of thought it was that slow, really defensive ability, but I wouldn't really say that at all. It's actually pretty aggressive. How do I get into that wall there? Waddle Dee is made of sandwich! Maybe you don't do it right here. I gotta tell whoever's in charge. Oh, right here it is. I just seem to realize everything 1 second later. These guys are Sorrers. Sounds like something right out of Harry Potter. Oh, or Sorrers are flying enemies that just go back and forth. They don't give any kind of copy ability. A pretty unremarkable folk, but they're cool looking. I really genuinely hope that if they ever make a sequel to that game, they call Ah! Okay, I don't hope they call it that. Very confusing for series chronologically, and lots of lawsuits paid for ruptured eardrums. Anyway, I was going to say that I killed that one by jumping into it back there. I'll replay that for you. That is Kirby's headbutt ability, something that's not explicitly told, but a slight user-friendliness thing in a way that you might accidentally kill really small enemies that might be in the way. Anyway, I was saying that the only way that you could ever improve the sequel to a Title II, DDD's Drum Dash Deluxe, would be to call it Double DDD's Drum Dash Deluxe by Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome. It was a joke that when I came off recording the last thing, I was so ashamed that I never said it. Gosh, I can't believe I almost died like that. And I wanted stone, too. At least I caught myself, though. I am becoming a master of it. These ruins look like they were made by the people who made Togepi. With those symbols down there. Oh! Okay, well, stone was fun to have for a little bit. If that's what you want to call death-defying shrieks of terror. I am inhaling reality! I would like to introduce you to my Grandmaster plan, the Great Waddle Dee Train Heist. We steal the entire train! No one will ever know! There I go, circumventing Cappy's entire gimmick and inhaling the entire body again. This right here is a mandola root. It gets to know the joy of being born for a few seconds, only for you to kill it on the spot. He looks so surprised at this prospect of being welcomed to the world. At least he got to feel emotion in the short time that he existed. This is really sad, actually. Oh no 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 no. I'll go ahead and take that treasure chest right off of your dashboard to get the second sunstone. No wood is beyond my mouth. Gimme. It's so fun just devouring everything. That's 2 keychains now. And then we'll inhale all of you guys. Hey look, you thought you existed, but you actually don't. It's the mandola effect. Yes, I came up with that one right then and there. I'll take this key that matches me very nicely and then use it up. I guess he wouldn't really find that very funny. We'll suck him to the right. We'll suck them to the left. And then we'll suck. Oh! I sure sucked, all right. So that's just a rare one. You never actually, that thing does not have an official name or anything, but personally, I really hope it's called a Womandola root. That's what I've always called them. They don't have any different properties from the regular mandola roots. They're just, fan service. For those of you that are into plants. I mean, Tales from Sonic kind of was at one time. You guys! They're pretty simple. I'm sure you know what to do right away from seeing the obstacles and the formations that they're in. But their official name is Gigant Chicks. This wasn't what they're called in Japanese. They were Gigant Cocks in Japanese. I don't know if that can have the same double meaning that it's got on this side of the Pacific, but I wouldn't put it past Japan either. You gotta come over here. Time it perfectly, yes! 1 cycle. That last one can be tricky because he flies around in circles for a long time and doesn't really adhere to much of a pattern. Did I really only get 2 keychains? I hope I'm not misremembering. There was a lot going on, so we saw that I had some trouble keeping things straight even when there wasn't really a whole lot happening in that one room. Suck this door open. First time those words have ever been stated in humanity. I'll go on through. No! 3. I think that might have been the first time that we got Cloud 3. I know we've gotten Cloud 2 a heck of a lot. And Cloud 7 a hell of a lot more than that. I feel like I'm shaming my strict parents always getting second place. The Warp Star keychain. Wispy Woods was the rare keychain this time around. A pretty elaborate design and even transparent in the middle, so it's really just the parts of them. Rosalie. The only keychain that makes you uncontrollably draw art of Let's Players. Moving right on along, it looks like it's starting to look like a Street Pass world. First off, to the left, to the left. Easy to miss keychain. This song, I love this song. Here, relax with it while I beat things to death. Tranquil, relaxing song. This is one of the tracks that I would go back to again and again. You can block against elect. But you can't block against a hole. Let's do that right this time. I'll guard it and then I'll take flight. I got really showy-offy with that out of wanting to show how good of an ability that can be. That there is a Dekabu. I guess it's the strength of 10 because it has the metric prefix of Deka. It's just a stronger, healthier version of Kabu. Yet another case where it's inconsistent. Seems like we gotta take Whip. That's our first ability that we're seeing, so might as well take it. Better than nothing. Though I do champion the Star Bullet a lot. Oh, whoa. Get you out. Get all of that. And we're rebuilding the lost pieces of my life. We're 13 stars away from getting another life. I'm just waiting for that one-up sound to make things right again. I don't think I'm going to show the other side mode before the end of the story, just so we never have to deal with that hardship ever again. I don't know if I'll ever quite be the same over... Okay, I'm being kind of overly dramatic here, but you know what I mean. You know, damn it. Killed that guy. Could I make that guy respawn, perhaps? Guess not. I'll hop in. I'll just tilt over, put a beep-boo. I think maybe no. That's the thing is that flying is a huge joy in platforming games, but it always opens the door for, okay, where they're gonna hide the collectibles because they can hide it in so many more jerkish locations. You could, I don't think we really need to see a copy ability in this one. I think I'm okay with Whip for right now. Keep moving, I'm tilting as fast as I can, which is not very fast at all when going uphill. This boat is unfortunately not a 4-wheel drive. Jump out. Can't fly when we have the key, so we gotta time that jump well. We hop on an orange one of these, meaning that it's a round-trip ticket right here to a secret area. You? I whip the flower open. Another Broom Hatter and a Sunstone. Was that really number 1? Because this has been going on for a while. Yeah, haven't missed a thing. That's another thing. When you got so many collectibles and you go a while without seeing even one, then you start worrying that you've missed them when in reality you probably haven't. Get out of here. Still haven't forgiven you for what you did to me before. I am not going to forgive you for that either! Die! God, all this pent-up rage at a rock, it reminds me of when I was a little kid how I would hurt inanimate objects that would hurt me, and my parents would be like, Emil, that thing can't feel pain, and I would go, well, I want to hurt it just in case it can, and besides, this way I hurt the bacteria that live on it. Now that I say that out loud, I feel like I had the potential to become a serial killer when I was a little kid, and God, I'm so glad I became a gamer. Come on. I'm sorry, my cowboy hat is just so magnificent, I can't fit through. You were guarding a door, that's why I wanted to kill all these enemies. Another key puzzle, it looks like. Yes! This is why I didn't want to pick up a new copy ability, because I knew that we were coming up on this, and it would just overwrite whatever new one we would have seen. This is Walkie. A very on-the-nose name. I really like the pun, though. Walkie-talkie, yeah? He just attacks you with sound, Strangely effective given that Kirby doesn't have any ears, and with him we turn into Mike Kirby. Despite the enemy being exceptionally harmless, I'm an umpire. This is a really powerful move that sounds like that. Let's just read what it has to say. Microphone check, 1, 2. Build up your power to crank up the volume. Kirby's 3-song set list is more than enough to rock the house. On a first press, we do a megaphone. On the second one, a desk mic. Third press, a stand mic. And then if you hold B and mash the D-pad on the third one, you'll do an encore. This works differently, as normally this was kind of a clone ability of Crash, where it was a really powerful one-hit attack. Whereas here, it's not a screen nuke, and it behaves differently on each of the 3 hits. I see you up there. I don't trust you. As soon as we grab that key, he was gonna come after us. So I might as well preemptively make this easier on myself, because Lord knows I need it. Take that, go up. And thankfully I was smart to fly over all but one of these, so there was only one conceivable part I could die, and now we are over it. And I think I was happy to see this energy drink because I was a little bit low on health before. Well, we'll keep Mike with us. We'll just try to do as much as we can with this ability, get as much mileage out of it as possible, only using it when we really need to. Want to make sure I state that as many ways as can possibly do. That looked funny, the way their faces were after, like, bumping into me. Hello, I need a benevolent grace of the Street Pass King. Thank you. I think turning off the game also gets rid of a held item, which is doubly lame. Why would you not program it to remember that? This is the 3DS. Not taking any of those lame-o abilities. Gonna keep going. Ah, I see what we have here. This is bonkers! I just thought I'd shout his name at him. And we'll see... Boom! Inhale those realistic human feet, Kirby. Bonkers gives the rare hammer ability. This is not obtainable from any regular enemy, and those power-up things that you can touch before mid-bosses usually don't have it either. It's pretty rare from those as well. Hammer has utility in that it can smash things down, and this... I would describe this ability as the extremely powerful attack that is melee only. It technically has one ranged attack, but you should never realistically use it. A giant hammer on loan from the king himself. Oh, it's Dedede's. I was like, wait, Bonkers is a well-respected guy in the Kirby universe? Oh, but no, it's Dedede's hammer is what it's referring to. Pound boulders into dust or knock sticks flat into the ground. Send a fiery burst with a special technique, the decisive hammer flip. This is probably the strongest ability of them all. It's used in speedruns of anything that has to do with bosses specifically. I personally like it a lot. It's the third contender for my favorite ability alongside Beetle and Wheel. I should be ashamed. The dash attack is fantastic. You're invincible during it. When you jump, that just hits all around you. The range is very limited, but it doesn't leave you helpless. I wouldn't call this an attack that's vulnerable due to just being melee-based all the time. Like I said, it has a ranged attack, but you should never use it. If you dash and press X, you throw the hammer away. It sucks doing this on accident, and it just really, really is a shame that you could throw away the hammer for no good reason. Make sure that you never ever do that if you want to keep this ability. If you want to lose this ability for something else, then you might as well get the high damage that it does out of it at least once. Not falling for that, but I did fall through that. Keep going over this way. Grab what I think is the third sunstone. Yes! Hammer is also not all about the damage, and that's one of the things I like about it. It has utility. If you were to say, hold up, it lights the hammer on fire, and this actually does light fuses, burn grass, and all that. So it's got utility. It does a lot of things. I didn't see that food in front of that flower because it was very small. Well, we'll go onward. And I think I'm gonna be sticking with this one for a while. Oh, that looked good! That looked good! Is my luck turning? Is it flipping like the hammer? No! How close do I have to be? I've done it without a full meter before. That looked good. Fine. Okay, 1 keychain. 2 keychain. That's... You cretin. Kirby from Dreamland 3. And our 4th one is 10 Kirbys from Kirby Mass Attack. Very underappreciated game that one is. KO'd Kirby, also from Kirby Mass Attack. It heard what I was saying, it picked up what I was putting down, and it gave us more. Well, we're into this mysterious new world. We've had carrots, we've had floating islands and clouds and sunsets. I hope you're following along to figure out the theme. Next time on Kirby Triple Deluxe, we then go into a dark jungle, continuing on with this old Odyssey. See you guys then.